inside my soul, the child within began to grow. A whispered voice said, take my hand, we'll build a world where love will stand. We gathered hearts like scattered leaves, a tapestry of dreams to weave. From broken wings to open skies, together we will learn to fly. Kaleidoscope of happiness, 1,000 colors we possess, transforming pain to something bright. We're butterflies in endless flight. The cocoons held the weight of fears, but now they're gone with all the years. We stitched the threads of laughter's tune and danced beneath the silver moon. Love to draw us near, no longer lost, no longer small. Together we can have it all. Kaleidoscope of happiness, 1,000 colors we possess, transforming pain to something bright. We're butterflies in endless flight.
Oh, let me adjust this. I guess if I lean back, it made it be a little too high. Welcome everyone, and happy Father's Day to all the fathers and to all the mothers who have had to be fathers as well. I wanted to come live this morning to pay respect and tribute to my dad, Eugene Allen Maudlin. He lived from May 11th, 1931 until June 18th, and it was 1981. So he has been gone many, many years. He was a great man. I knew all about him and all the things that I love about him. The picture on the thumbnail was taken when I was about 4 years old, 3 or 4, and we were at an amusement park. Um, my dad was as much a kid as we were. He loved doing things and getting us to smile. And as you can see in that picture, he had as big a smile as I had on my face. So let me tell you a little bit about my dad. He was, I'm trying to think how I want to put it. He was a character. I'll just say that. He lived life like there was no tomorrow. When he was 5 years old, his mother passed away. Now, he had a big extended family, lots of aunts and uncles and cousins, and um, he had a brother, but his brother was quite a bit older than him. So shortly after that, his dad remarried, and his stepmom she was okay, but he missed his mom, and he had to grow up kind of fast because of losing his mom and everything. And then when he was 14, he lost his stepmom and his dad. Now, trigger warning, trigger warning. This is a little rough, but his dad was a police officer, and um, he had unalived his wife and then unalived himself in the garage in their car. And my dad was 14 years old. He was sound asleep in his bed, pounding on the door, lots of shouting. You know, it was the police. His dad had not shown up for his shift on the police department. And so they had come to the house, some of his police buddies, cop buddies, to check on him, see what was going on. And they woke my dad up. My dad said, I don't know. They went out last night. I was home, went to sleep. You just woke me up. I don't know. Is his car in the garage? Was what my dad said. And they said, well, let's go see. So my dad went out there and opened up the garage door. And sure enough, there was the car. And inside the car was his stepmother and his dad, both deceased. And so, as you can imagine, his childhood was over at that point. It was quite traumatic for him. And he went to live with one of his aunts. And um, after a while, he went on to live with his brother, his older brother. And he was not what you would call a good kid. He was kind of a troubled kid. And so he got himself into some trouble. And when he went to court, the judge said, son, you have two choices. You can do some time or you can go in the military. Now, this was back around the time of the Korean War. So my dad chose to go in the military. He was 17 years old. He had started dating my mom, who was 16 years old, and they were in Indiana. And after he joined up in the Army, he was going to boot camp in Columbus, Georgia. And my grandmother, my mom's mom, signed papers so that my mom could get married and that she could come with him to Georgia, which they did. And when he was sent over to the Korean War to fight, my mom came back to Indiana to stay with her mother until he got out of the Army. And the Korean War was a horrible, horrible war. My dad never liked to talk about it much. But when he was dying, he did talk about it a little bit to us. So, anyway, he came home from Korea and he went to school to become a pipe fitter. And most of his pipe fitting career was spent doing remodeling and reconstruction on old churches and schools and federal buildings and things like that had asbestos insulation. And he contracted asbestos related lung cancer. And that was what ultimately took his life at 50 years old. He had surgery to remove a tumor in his chest, and then he got a blood clot that went to his heart and he passed away. He was 50 years old and I was 18 years old. So, back up when my mom and my dad were reunited in Indiana, they very much so wanted to start a family. My dad had kind of made it his mission in life that he was going to give his children the love and childhood that he didn't really get to have. And I can tell you this, my dad enjoyed life. He loved hard and he made sure that we knew we were loved. Hello, sharing with Shannon, Lucy from Body Illusion, and also Vince. Thank y'all so much for coming in. Um, so, anyway, it took them several years to have a baby. First was my brother Matthew. Matthew lived to be 3 weeks old, and his spleen ruptured, and he passed away. And then my sister Melanie was born a year or so after that. Melanie, her lungs did not completely develop, so she only lived 2 days and then she passed. A year or so later, they tried again and they had a miscarriage. Um, I've always said it was a boy, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm not sure they know what it was. Anyway, 12 years into their marriage, they had my sister, Lori, who is 2 years older than I am. And then 2 years later, they had me. And then 4 years later, they had my sister, Holly. And Holly didn't survive either. Um, she had multiple health problems and passed away as an infant. And then they had 2 years later, 6 years after me, they had my brother Guy. So Guy Robert, Lorelei, after my one aunt, and then I was supposed to be named after my aunt Rose Marie. And my mom did not like the name Rose. So she told my dad, you can name the baby anything and use Marie as the middle name, but I don't like the name Rose. So my grandmother on my mom's side was reading a book at the time that they were in the hospital going to have me. Hello, Abigail. Welcome. Happy Father's Day. So, yes, Shannon, it was devastating for both of my parents. My, I mean, that's really what my father wanted was to have kids and be a dad and love them and give them a good life. And Ashes and Embers. Hello, Ashley. Welcome. So, anyway, they had my brother. Oh, I was telling you about my name. Okay, so my grandmother was reading a book, and the heroine in the book's name was Echo. Echo is from Greek mythology. People may know that. It also means a reverbing or vibrating, repeating sound. Hello, Nana. Good morning. So, um, kind of as a joke, my grandmother told my dad, hey, you can name her Echo, Echo Marie. My mom had said anything but Rose. So it was kind of a joke, but he actually liked the name. And so back then, when you had a cesarean, they put you to sleep. And so my mom didn't know until she woke up from the surgery if she had had a girl or a boy. And so, if I had been a boy, my name was going to be Walter. Don't even really know why my name would have been Walter, but anyway. So they ended up, when she woke up, she said, "What did we have?" And my dad said, "We have a little Echo Marie," and that was my name. Now, they said I was like a shadow to my sister, who was 2 years old when I was born. And I talked a lot, made a lot of noise, and I still talk a lot. So actually, the name was quite fitting. Um, but my dad called me sister instead of Echo, because it was always, he was talking to my sister saying, where is your sister? Go get your sister, help your sister, love your sister. And so for the longest time, they called me sister. And it wasn't until I was getting ready to start school that I realized that I would be using the name Echo at school and not sister. Hello, Indigo Twin. Welcome. So, my dad, like I said, was a great man, very intelligent, very loving, loved the Lord, was very talented with gardening and woodworking. He was a softball umpire. He coached my sister and my softball teams, and my brother's little league team when he came along. He would take me fishing with him. He taught me woodworking, taught me gardening, um, just always gave me love and encouragement. And because of that, I had a very good foundation and upbringing. Now, my mom, on the other hand, and it may have been due to all the struggles with losing the babies and all, she became a very self centered, narcissistic person and treated the three of us children as her trophies, her property, her. Um, anyway, if you've ever heard of narcissistic relationships, the relationship between a narcissistic parent and the children can be very damaging to the child. My dad would take us away from my mother as much as he could to give her a break and let her rest and provide us with a good time. Um, but he had to work, and he had to work, full time to support our family. So back then, my mom didn't work, and you know, he couldn't be there all the time. Anyway, I my camera looks blurry, a little bit blurry. Sorry, y'all. What is reflecting in my light up here? Is that what it's trying to do? It's trying to. It's the weirdest thing. It's trying. Something is reflecting in that light. I don't know if that's what it's trying to focus on. Let me see. There. That's a little clearer, I think. Okay. Um. Yes, it's wonderful. I had a great dad. And because he didn't have a son right away, he had me. I was the second daughter, and my mom and my sister already had a pretty much of a bond. And so when I came along, I kind of bonded with my dad. And I was a tomboy, and I would, you know, just do whatever he was doing. Oh, excuse me. I got up early this morning and did some work for YouTube and went live and did my Sunday devotional. Hello, Jackie. Handcrafted by Jackie. Good morning and welcome to the live stream. You know what? Let me do this. Well, I'm going to do it Wednesday. I'm going to give away my free memberships on Wednesday. I forgot about that. I already said that on my live for Wednesday, but I forgot to do them. So I've got to do them still. The light came from my daughter, Nana. She actually used it in her classroom. They had a change of policy at the school because she had a lot of lamps, different lighting sources in her room because she thought fluorescent lights sometimes were too much for the kids. And so she would turn them off and put all the different lamps on. And the kids enjoyed it. But for some reason, the school changed policy and they weren't allowed to do that anymore. And so she didn't need this lamp at school. And I had said I needed a good reading lamp. And so she said, "Oh, I have one. I'll bring it to you." And at first, she told me it was the gray one in her living room. And I said, "Okay, that's great." And when she came, it was this one with all the colors. But, I kind of like it. It's living kind of fun. So I like it. But anyway, my dad, like I said, loved life. This camera's still blurry. I am sorry. I guess it's just trying to focus on what's behind me. I don't want to focus. It's not wanting to focus in on me. Sorry about that. I don't know. I guess maybe it's skipped down too much. I was thinking it was trying to focus in on the picture or the lamp. See, and I don't know what this kaleidoscope, what is it reflecting off of my phone? No. What do I have over here that's, I don't know. It's a mystery. I don't know what it's reflecting off of. Huh, funny. Anyway, um, one of my fondest memories of my dad is the day before my mom had my. I was 6 and my sister was 8, and and so she went into the hospital the day before, and the whole entire day before she had the baby, my dad took my sister and I to the beach. And after the beach, we went to the drive-in movie. He got us in our pajamas. He had a station wagon, put us in the back of the station wagon with pillows and blankets. And we watched the movie out the back window of the station wagon and fell asleep in the car, came home, carried us to our beds, and the next day got up and he got us dressed and breakfast and took us to the hospital to see our mom and meet our brother. And my sister and I were both red as lobsters. We were sunburnt. And my mom was so mad at him for letting us get sunburnt. But we had the best time that day at the beach. He wanted us to have a special memory of time spent with him before our brother came into the picture, when it was just him and his girls. So that's one of my fondest memories. Um, he encouraged me to go to radiology school, x-ray tech school. which I did at the local hospital. And he was in that hospital, diagnosed with cancer. And I was doing my clinicals then. I hadn't graduated yet, so I wasn't actually, working for pay. I was a student, and he very much would not let me miss school. I would go and visit him on my breaks and after school and things like that. But when he got moved to the hospital in Chicago, I don't know why I keep yawning, y'all. I'm so sorry. When he got transferred to the hospital in Chicago, it's about an hour away, 45 minutes away. So he didn't want us kids, missing school and stuff to go up there and see him. So I didn't go to visit him. And he actually passed away there in the hospital in Chicago. And so when I did go to that hospital in Chicago, he was already passed. But anyway, he knew I had the heart to help people. And that was one reason why he encouraged me to go to x-ray school. And a lot of people don't know this about me. I actually worked about 6 years as an x-ray tech. However, I made some choices and I went to work in the cancer center doing the radiation therapies. And that's a very difficult place to work. You get attached to the patients because you see them daily, sometimes at a time, and then they stop coming. And 99% of the time, the reason they stop coming is because they've lost their battle with the cancer. And so it's very emotional for you because you were trying to heal them, help heal them, and let them have a life, and that didn't work out for them. So it's very difficult. Anyway, I ended up making the decision to stop working in the hospital because it was so emotionally draining for me. And I even transferred out of the radiation therapy department back into regular x-ray. And then seemed like I got nothing but geriatric patients who 80, 90, 100 years old. They were not going to have surgery, even if the tests found things wrong. And I felt like the doctors were just torturing them, having them go through procedures that really were unnecessary. And so I made the choice eventually to stop working that field. But I still wanted to help people. So I ended up taking a job at a convenience store as a part time cashier. And within 6 months, I was the manager of that store. And I worked at that store for 5.5 years. And husband had his own business. I wanted to be able to do the accounting work for his business. So I went to tech school and got my computerized accounting degree. And then I worked for a real estate company as a bookkeeper and assistant, personal assistant type job. And then I went to work at Walmart. And I worked at Walmart for 17 and a half years. But I credit my dad for my, he got up every day, no matter how he felt, no matter what his circumstances were. His job was to family, and that's what he did. So I have a very strong work ethic because of that. Indigo Twin asked, how did your parents meet? My parents actually met in the third grade, and my mom didn't like my dad. She thought he was a rowdy little boy, and she really didn't, like him too well. But they were school together, and when they were teenagers, teenagers, they started dating. They were each other's first and only, and they were married for 32 years when my father passed away. So um, they had a beautiful love story. He loved my mom no matter what. He didn't know a lot of what went on between my mom and us kids. It would have broke his heart if he had known his children were being mistreated. And we loved him too much to break his heart. So he didn't know. My sister and I have talked about this many times, that if it wasn't for my dad, you know, our lives would have been completely ruined. But because of our dad and because of the love that he showed us and taught us to love, we're all okay. We're all good human beings. Now, my sister, my brother, and I were estranged for a few years due to my mom. That's one thing narcissists do. They triangulate you with your other loved ones, which means they keep you apart. They don't let you talk. They tell you things about the other person that aren't true, and you develop a resentment or a dislike for the other person because you've been told that they dislike you, which is not true. So it wasn't until 10 years ago when I was going through my divorce that my sister was there, my divorce, and we started talking and realizing a lot of things that have been, we had been holding against each other, and things that, we didn't realize were not true. I had blocked out a lot of the problems in my childhood, and my sister was able to help me remember and heal from all of that. Now, this is not supposed to be about me, and this is not supposed to be about my tragic life. It's supposed to be a celebration of love for all the fathers out there. Now, there are stepfathers, there are adopted fathers, there are uncles and cousins that step up, and brothers that even parent their siblings because there's no father in the picture. So, whatever your situation is, whether your father is living and in your life or not, be thankful that he gave you parts of himself that are now part of you. And I have my father's build. I'm tall, like my brother and my dad. My sister is petite, short, like my mom. So a lot of my features and things like that are from my dad's side of the family. Look just like my aunt Blue Labelle. I can't even say it. But they say I look just like her, so I don't know if that's true or not. But no matter who you are, and who your dad was or is, part of him lives in you. So be grateful for that. I hope everybody had a father that loved them and gave them a good life. I know that's not always the case. And if you didn't have a good life with a father, then I'm I'm sad for you, because I did have a wonderful father and a wonderful life with my father. I have a picture of him with my softball team. Um, Sure, let's go. Let's share the screen. See if I can get into my see if I can get into my Google Photos and possibly find that photo. I'm not sure if I might be able to. Let me see how we are sharing this on my, there we go. Okay, y'all can see it, good. Okay, let's see. I would be wait. I have a lot of pictures, a lot of screenshots. Oh, pass those quickly because those show my some naked pictures of me from my surgery. Let's not show those. All right. All right. This is a picture of my dad, my sister, and I. I'm there on the left. And this was when I was probably a year old or so, and my sister would have been 3. Y'all let me know if you can still hear me. I'm not sure when I share the screen if you can hear me. Just put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Try to find the other pictures. Of course, I have a gazillion pictures of my granddaughter. I guess I'm going the best I can go. I guess I either passed it or I don't have it saved on here. I thought I did. Well, I may have showed you all this for nothing. Here is my son-in-law with my grandbaby. He is a wonderful father as well. that is my son and my grandbaby. This is my ex-husband and his wife with my grandbaby. And my ex-husband, although he's an ex-husband, he has been a wonderful father and grandfather. Okay, we got and this is a picture of us at my ex's house. I've talked about that many a time, that we go there and share life with the grandbaby. And there's my daughter, there's me holding the grandbaby, uh, his wife's brother and sister-in-law, nephew, and then my ex as well. So that is us sitting out at the fire pit. You have to do what you have to do to allow your children to have relationship with their, with their other parent. Now, is me when my daughter was born. Don't I look just so cute there? This was at Thanksgiving. She was born in September, so she would have been a couple months old. And I'm deliberately waiting a little bit so that you can see the picture move it. And then this was my ex. Same thing, Thanksgiving. We were happy when my daughter was born. And you can see he loves his daughter. Let's see. And this is actually my grandbaby in that same outfit with my ex holding her on her first Thanksgiving. And here's me holding my granddaughter. Gosh, you can see how much weight I've lost. Okay, let's see what else we got. This is kind of fun, actually. Going down memory lane. There's my daughter, my ex, and my granddaughter. That's a Happy Father's Day type picture. I'm not sure if y'all are responding or not. I'm not getting anything in my chat, so I'm going to come back. I'm going to go out and come back in. Yeah, no, just nobody's been chatting. Okay. Let's see. Can you hear me? Please let me know. I hope you can hear me and you haven't just been seeing the pictures without any sound. I guess I could turn my sound on. and see. Can you hear me? Yes, okay. So I checked and you can hear me, which is good. Okay. Here's here's another good one to see how much weight I've lost in my face. I love that picture because my grandbaby looks like a baby doll there. Let's see. And there's us at the Braves game. My ex-husband, his new wife, and my friend Patricia, and me, and my grandbaby here laying on Patricia's lap. This is my sister and my brother-in-law Howard and my great niece, my nephew's daughter, Lucy. There they are. There's my nephew, Jim, his wife, Brianne, and baby Lucy, and my brother-in-law, Howard. Let's see. There we are at 4th of July. I'm way down here in the blue shirt on the end. But there we are in South Carolina celebrating the 4th of July. There's my nephew and my great niece. Cute little girl. She's 6 months younger than my granddaughter. So my sister and I have that in common. Which reminds me I need to wish them a happy birthday. A happy father, ex-husband, and my brother-in-law and my nephew. All right, I don't see that picture, so I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get off of this. Okay. All right, and I'm back. I hope y'all enjoy a little slideshow. Now I know I can actually do that. So I might do that more often. Pictures. All right, so I don't know if anybody's still in here or not. People may have left. But if you are there, please hey in the chat. On replay, thank you for coming and watching. And I wish you a happy Father's Day. And I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Y'all have a blessed day. Enjoy your families. Enjoy each other. Remember, God loves you, and so do I. Bye now. I love my song.
I found the cracks inside my soul. The child within began to grow. A whispered voice said, take my hand, We'll build a world where love will stand. We gathered hearts like scattered leaves, a tapestry of dreams to weave. From broken wings to open skies, together we will learn to fly. Kaleidoscope of happiness, 1,000 colors we possess, transforming pain to something bright. We're butterflies in endless flight. The cocoons held the weight of fears, but now they're gone with all the years. We stitched the threads of laughter's tune and danced beneath the silver moon. Love to draw us near, no longer lost, no longer small. Together we can have it all. Kaleidoscope of happiness, 1,000 colors we possess, transforming pain to something bright. We're butterflies in endless flight.
I want to try something. Okay, I just wondered if I put the background on there, um, and just I could let the background play, but then I would have to play the music from somewhere else. 'Cause I have the ability to do the video clip, but not the ability to do just the audio. I don't think. Let's see, music. Oh, here's my music. Let me try this. Background music, it says. How do I play it? Cool.
Bright light shining in the morning sun, new day dawning, it's just begun. Smiling faces, everyone. Life's alright, let's have some fun. Dreams they fly on wings of gold. Gotta chase some, be bold. Keep your heart open, don't be cold. The greatest stories yet untold. Happiness is our own creation. Find delight in every situation. Gratitude's the transformation. Turn your life to a celebration. Every moment is a choice. Raise your hands, lift your voice. In this life we can rejoice. Make your heart the loudest noise. Be thankful for the little things, the joy that simple pleasures bring. In every challenge, spread your wings. Fly above the stormy rings. Happiness is our own creation. Find delight in every situation. Gratitude's the transformation. Turn your life to a celebration. Find delight in every situation. Gratitude's the transformation. Turn your life to a celebration. No need to wait, no more delays. Gonna live my best life through the haze, under the sun or in the rain. Happiness is choice, not a chain. Age ain't nothing but a tale. Mindset's what sets the sail. Under any sky, any plight, spark of joy ignites tonight. Right here, right now, I'll rise above, living life full of light and love. No tomorrows, no yesterdays. Here in the now's where I'll stay. Circumstances won't define my day. I'll paint the